So and Elliot and Chris were paying me like $1,000 a month. Not a lot of money and to take their footage and turn it into TikToks. But I did a call with Michael for each one of these. And by the third one, I showed him my account. And my account, I was like one of the first people to film with a camera, turn it on its side, and edit my videos for TikTok because everyone was dancing on their phones. So like he was like, dude, I love your videos. I show your videos to my coaching group. Like, and we became instant friends. And about 2 weeks later, there was a post in his Facebook group, which was by a woman named at the time, it was Adley Stump. She is one of the biggest viral creators on Facebook. She was like, does anybody know anybody who can take my long form Facebook and already proven viral videos and turn them into TikToks? And back then, nobody was doing it. Like, so a couple people commented, and then Michael commented, hey, I would reach out to Ryan McGinn, and he tagged me. And then Adley reached out to me, and she became my first actual paying client at like, I think it was like $750 or $1,000 a month. And that was I took her to 1 million followers in 6 months. And in that process, Grant Cardone's team reached out to Michael Sanchez, and Michael saw what I was doing with Adley and saw what I was doing on my own. And he said, you need to talk to Ryan. And then Jared from Cardone's team called me the next day. We started working with Cardone, and I did, in typical Cardone fashion, I tripled my prices.
Well, damn straight. You better.
You have to.
Be pissed if you didn't.
Yeah, and then that lit, and I did. I mean, I pitched Jared and Alan and Grant on a phone call from a cigar lounge in St. Pete, Florida, and it was probably one of the most nerve-wracking times because I'm selling TikTok. Like, nobody cared about TikTok back then.
Yeah.
Like, and I was like, it's $3K a month. I'll get you 100,000 followers in the next 90 days, and if I don't do it, I'll edit your account for free until I do. I will pause your billing, and then when I hit the 100K, I'll start billing you again. And Jared and Alan were like, have you scripted this? I said, no, I'm just wildly overconfident in what I can do for Grant. And we, at the time, Luis, I convinced Luis to move from California to Florida because nobody wanted to live in California during COVID, because this is all during COVID. And so he moved to Florida. And I looked at, before I got on the call, I looked at Luis and I was like, yo, start editing Grant's account. We need 5 videos to go by the end of the day. And he did. And then I got on the call, closed Grant. We were posting the same day. And within 28 days, Grant's account had 100,000 followers. And that was all the proof I needed. And then it was a snowball.
Oh, I love that. So Grant Cardone called you literally his secret weapon on TikTok. So walk me through what his short form presence kind of like looked like before you took over versus after. Like, what specifically did you change for Grant?
The main thing was, like, at the start, it was just TikTok. Like, and me and Grant, we were just TikTok for Grant. Pretty much the entire, like, we worked with Grant they went fully in-house about 4 or 5 months ago. So it was about 4 years of, I got to know Mandy, who manages Grant's like main accounts. Like Alan was managing accounts. So they kind of just let us focus on TikTok for a long time because there was no Reels yet. There was no Shorts. There was nothing. And so we were just, at the start, it was just anything that does good on TikTok. They were just kind of bringing over, putting it on Instagram, putting it on YouTube Shorts. Then it kind of became, we were just clipping his podcast, like all of his stuff. Like, he would do seminars, we'd clip it. He would do podcasts, we'd clip it. Like, we were clipping before clipping was a thing. And that was like it for about 2 years. I mean, I always communicated with Mandy and Alan because they were always getting us new footage, letting it, kind of working together there. And Mandy kind of oversaw the Instagram, and he was the first, like, a lot of people really, really oversee and like baby their Instagram. So without respect to all the clients we work with, it was like, okay, we really kind of come in on the platforms that nobody cares about, which in most cases is YouTube Shorts and TikTok. And so that was kind of my relationship with Grant for about 2 years. And then his views and performance, I mean, we went all the way to 1 million in that time frame for him on TikTok. And he had already, I mean, I think his YouTube subscribers doubled and his Instagram was growing because it became like every once in a while they'd move a video over, and then it was like every day they were moving videos over. So it was like they were starting to, and then we started seeing our videos being run as ads. And I was like, that was like the stamp of like I've won. Whenever I saw a Cardone ad with one of the TikToks that me and my team made, I was like, fuck yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah. So, that was kind of a relationship. And then it got to a point where Grant, his performance was shit. Like, count was kind of dying on TikTok. And I knew why. It was because we needed fresh face-to-camera footage. I said, we need fresh stuff because we had tapped the well of repurposing so much that he had nothing to work with. So I, convinced Alan to get me 2 hours of filming with Grant. And mind you, I never met the guy in person. We'd have like one phone call for 2 years. And I will say, Grant's credit cards never fail. They treated all the organization treats their vendors with like a lot of respect, and I
Nice.
don't have anything negative to say about Grant, and it only gets stronger as So 2 years in, I get my 2 hours, and I bring Luis and Savannah with me. They've worked with me and my team since day one. I was like, guys, we have 2 hours with Grant. We have to get as much footage as humanly possible in 2 hours. I said, so Sav, you're going to be on like the vlog cam. I said, with a shotgun mic, I need a 2.5 2 hour file, start to finish. Never turn that camera off. Get everything. Whoever's talking, point the camera. Then I was like, Luis, here's your iPhone. Same thing. Never turn the phone off. Start and stop the files every 5 minutes until he tells us to leave. And then I was going to run the main camera. And I walked in. I'm meeting Grant, and he's like, "Who's in charge here? Is it you? You're Ryan, right?" He's like, Grant Cardone. I said, I obviously know who you are, sir. And he said, "Don't need to call me sir. Just call me Grant. This is my daughter, Sabrina." I was like, "Oh, meet Sabrina too. Okay. Hi, Sabrina." And he's like, "Why are my views shit?" And I was like, "Oh, expected this. Okay. He's like, so he's opening his phone, going through his analytics with me. And I said, "Look, Grant, I'll be honest with you, bro. The views are shit because the hooks are shit. And, it's my responsibility right now to make sure that I don't leave here today without getting good hooks. And if I don't do that, you can fire me in 30 days. Same thing. And he's like, "I like that. Let's go for it." And we went into his studio, set up the camera real quick. Everything was captured. It was like a fucking, battering ram of videos for 2 hours. And then 2 hours goes. He's like, "Do you guys have to leave right now? I just canceled the rest of my afternoon. Can you stay till like 5?" I said,
Oh, I
"I'll stay
love
as
it.
long as you." I was like, "I'll stay as long as you want, Grant." Kept going. We ended up leaving with about 4.5 hours worth of content. And then we drove back home. Like, he made sure we had caffeine. He gave us food. Like, it was a really great experience. And by the time we got home, we were already editing videos for him because I had Luis editing in the back seat. They were already starting to get posted by the time we got home because it's about a 3.5, 4 hour drive from Miami back to Tampa. And from that day forward, Grant's account got 1 million views a day for about 45 days straight on TikTok.
Damn.
And then he brought me in to work with Elena. He's like, "Ryan, I need you to fix Elena's account." So we started on Elena's short form. And then it was like when he had big events, like, it came like, "Hey, Ryan, I'm doing the last 10X. Me and Elena would want you to be one of the like 5 people that has all backstage access and can film with. I want you to capture all the behind the scenes." So then I became that guy. I was in Vegas for a week filming from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. And then
Nice.
getting all that footage back out but yeah, that was about 4.5 years of that. And from Grant came a lot of very, very, not like direct referrals, but people knew that I was, because they saw my presence and they saw Grant's presence. And then there's some people that I am bounded by the most airtight NDA ever in existence that I can't say their names publicly, but they make books and the cover is purple. You probably heard of them. I was a direct referral from Grant to them. We started working with them, and they absolutely exploded. And there was a very specific style of subtitles and captions we used back then. I'll let the people on the internet figure that out. It basically changed the course of the internet and how content is consumed. And then from that we started working with like Modern Wisdom Podcast, Vanessa Van Edwards, Cody Sanchez, Jordan Peterson, Michaela Peterson, Flagrant Clips. I've worked with it's over 100 clients at this point. Half of it was very rare that we worked with anybody that had less than 1 million followers. I work with a lot of people that don't have 1 million followers, but like that was like for the longest time, it was just like anybody was like, right. Like, and we would do the same thing. It was like, we would do like 90-day stints of like mass volume. We'd take accounts from like dog shit to like hundreds of millions of views. And, some stayed long term where we just kind of clipped for them. And yeah, that's been the last 4 years of my life.
Dude, I love it. And this is a perfect spot. So you won't work with with someone with under 1 million followers. So my question for you is this: on behalf of all those creators out there who do not have 1 million followers, which is the vast majority, what would be their cheat code to finding someone like Ryan McGinn who they can use on their behalf, who isn't of Ryan McGinn's status yet?
Yeah, well, just to be clear, I do work with all sizes now.
Okay.
I was corner in the market for that for a long time, but to be fair, to everybody, like I we work with like tons of different people now.